All right, let's take some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
Here's one coming in. And I'm giving greetings from Pat and Wooly. Oh, actually, this is from Axe from Michigan. Says I was watching.
Man, what up?
I was watching some Metaphor ReFantazio footage and getting excited, but then my excited cooled after I remembered it was an Atlus game. For the past decade, every game from Atlus has gotten a better version released with more story and gameplay improvements just a few years later. It gets a new subtitle, a new waifu character, and it's full price. This includes mainline Persona and SMT, most recently being Vengeance. Atlus being Atlus does not offer any upgrade path and makes it so that you have to buy it again at full price. How do you feel about this situation, and are there any publisher developers that you feel are so burnt on financially that you won't go back? Great question.
They are very... So before we even go into how we feel about it, they've done interviews about Fantasio, and they know, and they have said that Vengeance is the last one of those they are going to do. They're going to be going the DLC route from now on.
There you go. Right? Because you are 100% justified in feeling that concern. It's absolute bullshit that happens every single time and is otherwise guaranteed. The thing with this is it's not even like, hey, don't make those updates or whatever. That's I expect that. That's what they do, and you get more so. The fact that you can't have an upgrade path is just greedy. Like there's no two ways about that.
So
the re-release, I expect the inability to buy a way to integrate it off of your base version is an absolute fuck you every time.
And we know this because we play fighting games.
Yeah. No, it's insane, and like like the yeah, whatever. Like if you have, I mean, if it being integrated deep into the game versus as a separate mode or whatever, like Vengeance has it as a separate mode. I do like that. That's nice. It's distinguished in that way. But yeah, no, like I actively never went to Royale, and I don't know that I will. Like I maybe one day, but I really just don't feel it because I just don't want to do all that again. And like,
you know what? You know what's this weird thing, because they did make it better. I played a bunch of Royale and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was playing and I fell off it because like the new stuff they added is legitimately fantastic. Like playing pool with a catchy rules. But you still have to go through all the boring parts that you remember from last time, and you're like, fucking get on with it to get to the fucking new stuff.
If they say that that Metaphor is only going to have DLC, then that's great. We'll have to see if that only applies to the franchise Metaphor, or if that is a actual universal thing. Because
I will say
a Persona game that comes out from here on out might still fucking eat that shit. We'll see if they're fucking lying or not.
In terms of what they have said, they have never said we're not going to put out another version of it until now. And for Persona 3 Reload, they're putting out The Answer as DLC.
As DLC, yes.
So like they have started that process already.
The way it's generally comes across though is like, hey, the Atlus first release of something, you're buying the early access version essentially.
Yeah,
you're buying in because you want to check it out now, and that there's that coming down the line, but you're paying for not wanting to wait. It's stupid. It fucking sucks.
And you know what's crazy is they always manage to wait just until you started it to announce the next version. Like, hey, it took a couple years, but you're finally going to get a hold of Persona 4. Hey, Golden's coming. Stop playing that right now. So I had a version of this happen. It's not quite the same, but it is the same level of frustration. So Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is a big old CRPG, and it's super, super cool, and I really like it, and it's very complicated. And I've played it off and on for 100 hours, but I've never made much progress because it's very complicated. But the other problem is that they put out a season of DLC, right? And I said, you know what? CRPGs, they tend to be very buggy. I'm going to wait till that first season of DLC is over, and then I'll start. And then they announced the second season of DLC. Okay? So Wrath of the Righteous came out in fucking September of 21. They just put out what is the equivalent of their Citadel DLC 3 weeks in June, right? That's a bit. That's a while.
Jesus Christ.
But then I'm going into the Season Pass 2 thing, and the final update for what's it called? Dance or whatever. And the very last line in that update is, don't worry, there's more to come. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah. Right.
Stop. Fuck. Literally stop.
Man,
because it's a mix of like side campaigns, and we actually totally integrated this into the main story.
The funny bit is like, hey, with SMT and like, okay, so yeah, they're dropping Vengeance, and it's like, please make it so that you offer an upgrade path so that someone who bought the base version can just download this for the cheaper version, and then it'll upgrade their base game and it'll be great and whatever. It's like, cool, all right. Here you go. Would you like to download this upgrade path for your Switch copy of SMT5? Fuck no. Give me that shit on fucking Steam, baby. Like, what are we doing? If you're also freeing the game from the console it was on,
it's free.
There's something to that. I will give you a little bit more leeway. The Golden is Vita exclusive at the end of the day, but yeah, like, I would definitely like as much as I want that to be available, there is no chance in hell I would have gotten that for anything not for Steam, mind you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, again, we did our fucking sponsored thing for it, so that's nice. But it's like, hey, what do you want them to give me the fucking Steam code? What are we talking about? Like, no, I'm not going back on Switch for that. Golden was ported to PC later, y'all, right? It was Vita exclusive when it launched, right? For years.
It was Vita exclusive later.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
You know what? I think I might be safe. I think that update might have actually been referring to some other fucking... Because they announced that their DLC would have full voice acting. After that, don't worry, there's still more surprises to come. So hopefully that means they're done with that season. Stop it. Stop. You can only play CRPGs properly like 3 years after the last patch. So stop. Just stop.
Is that the time frame? Yeah, okay.
No, but like genuinely, like the types of games are like so buggy that like you kind of want to always wait until after the last DLC is out, and then like maybe 6 months.
I mean, dude, I can barely grasp this concept of like, hey, this game you were excited for just came out. Don't play it. Wait for the fan mods to come in and fix the problems first.
I mean, a really good example is Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is a dramatically better game than it was 1 year ago. And that was all just patches.
Right. And it was already a great game. Incredible.
Yeah.
All right, and let's take one more here from Nick. Hey, Pat and Woolie, it's me, Nick. Hello.
Hey, Nick.
On the last podcast when Woolie was talking about the Chinese nuclear reactor WhatsApp fake news, and then later the mention of Genius Kojumbo, it got me to remember the times when Kojima falsely was used for some fake media rumblings. Maybe the most famous one was a French politician using his Instagram post to illustrate Shinzo Abe's killer, but one curious case was a chain of WhatsApp messages in the year of release of Death Stranding down here in Brazil. Said chain of messages reported that the biomedicine researcher Dr. Hideo Kojima was successful in mass-producing genetically modified babies in artificial wombs in order to supply Japan's low birth rate, with approximately 3,000 babies in development and assigned for future work in factories across the globe. What other bizarre fake news messages come to mind for you guys? And there's a picture there.
Gonna beat that. That's crazy.
And the picture is with fucking Kojima holding the BB toy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then the message in Portuguese with an urgent warning. And it's incredible because it's like, of course, the person who gets off on like writing these attention-grabbing lie moments, like, has to throw in these babies are assigned for work in factories around the globe bit at the end, just to get the full flat Earth level conspiracy shit working in there. It's good stuff. I remember when I found out like a while ago that it was like, what is the point of these stupid chain emails that your parents would send to each other and then to you? Because
I know exactly why.
yeah,
Do you know why?
No, I do. I know, but I didn't. I remember like not for years. You'd get email threads that were just completely like, Bill Gates is going to send $10 to everybody who forwards this to their friends, and if you forward it to over 50 people, you're going to get $20 instead.
Yeah.
God is good all the time. All the time. God is good. Forward it to all your friends now.
The real reason, Woolie.
Because at the end of this giant fucking stupid useless chain letter, you have a fucking bot that just crunches all those emails and throws that into a fucking spam machine and has your emails ready to spam. It was the way they'd collect these addresses and then sell them back to people.
But how come your mom would repost it?
Well, because she would think she would be getting money from Bill Gates.
Do you know why? Because if I lose this ring, my wife will die. It's the same mentality. It's the same thing.
I mean, the crazy part that like I was like on just not even on the nefarious, like understanding the nefarious creators part, like I'm like, oh, okay, right, I get it, you're doing this to trick the gullible. But on the gullibles part, I'm like, okay, but auntie, like, Bill Gates didn't give you $10 the last 3 times. Why do you think this 4th time it's gonna happen for real though? Is it because the photo of the person that's really blurry, that's holding up a bunch of money, is like, yay, worked for me? Like, is that what pushes it over the edge this time? Like,
Well, I think there's a grand irony. I think there is a grand irony here in that the generation that told us you can't believe everything you see on TV will bring their iPad over to you and go, check out this shit I found on Facebook.
I've already talked many a times about the murder of Africa.avi attached in email threads that got spread around like wildfire through the church community. And it was like, look at what they're doing. Look at what's coming. Look at what's happening to our community. And you click, and it's the trailer for Resident Evil 5. The first version of the trailer. Of
yeah, that first one. Man, I'll never forget. I'll never forget being like, you seen this? And you went, no, why? Because you were like, what? I'm like, you got to sit down and watch this shit. And just I got to fucking soy Wojak, look there, look at your face, look at the thing, like, oh, it was great. It was great.
Man, yeah.
Your whole body went tense and then sagged, and you were just, oh. What a fucking, it would be so brave if they made that game again the same.
Because
so brave.
You know the trick that everyone was able to feel threatened by in RE4 because they couldn't understand because it was different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just Spanish people are scary, right?
How about that?
Oh, the Inquisition.
It's different.
It's like the same, right? You pick a region and then you pick them like weird, scary stereotypes.
Different is scary.
Oh, it's very scary.
Could you imagine if you took what was different plus zombies?
Oh my God. It's like they're not human. It's like they're barely human.
Yeah. So, good stuff on that. All right. Now, remember, send this podcast to 20 of your friends. And if you do, you will be blessed by the cube goblin.
The cube
of,
goblin
of good tidings.
It'll make sure that every time you fold your bed, it'll be all nice right angles and there'll be no creases. But I'm realizing as I'm describing this that I'm letting out my own insanity by accident because no one cares about that shit.
And if you don't send it, to 20 friends, then your dishes that are air drying will become moldy.
Oh, come on.